can a man hold on to his integrity in the face of hardship, in the face of trials and tribulation? Joseph was a young man who was betrayed by his brothers. He was sold into slavery and he was taken into the land of Egypt. As if his sufferings, his hardship was not enough, he moved from the home of Potiphar as a slave. He became a prisoner. And through all of this, we see here that he never compromised on his faith. And so we want to see 10 lessons we have to learn from the life of Joseph. So the first thing we see here from the life of Joseph is that he was an individual that had much integrity. As we'd see in Genesis chapter 38, Genesis 39 verse 8, where he refused the advances of his master's wife. He said unto his master's wife that his master had put everything unto him in the house aside from his wife. And so in the comfort of the home, why nobody would have known the great evil that would have happened, Joseph had integrity and he upheld it to the latter. He did not compromise on his integrity. We see here that integrity translates to doing the right thing in the hidden place when no eyes can see. But rest assured that the eyes of God is there to behold. So, we see here that God usually rewards people of great integrity. Though what they might be going through now may not be evident for everyone to see, but in the long run, as we can see from the life of Joseph, God always reward those that are his and uphold integrity. Number 2 that we see here is that Joseph had fear of God more than fear of sin itself. You see, how then can I do such a great thing, such a great wickedness, and what? Sin against God. Genesis 39:9. He chose holiness over temporary pleasure. He was holy. He had the fear of God in his heart. Number 3, integrity may cost you something. Doing the right thing may bring temporary pain, but God rewards faithfulness in the end. Joseph lost his position because he refused to sin in the home of Potiphar. As we see in Genesis 39:20, it says, and Joseph's master took him and put him in prison. You see, he lost his position. Though the master's wife lied against him, he was put in prison. He lost his position. So one thing we learn from the life of Joseph is that integrity may cost you something, cost you your position, it cost you your comfort. Number 4 thing that we learn from Joseph is that God stays with the faithful. Even in prison, Joseph was never abandoned by God. But the word of God says that, but the Lord was with Joseph, and he had great mercy upon him. So, integrity does not always prevent hardship, but it will guarantee God's presence. And so right there in the very presence, God was with Joseph. The word of God will make us to understand that he found favor with the prison warden. Number 5 that we learn about Joseph is that he was faithful. He was faithful. Joseph served faithfully even in the prison that he was placed. He served faithfully in Potiphar's home. And we see as a result of serving faithfully, he had an excellent spirit which opened doors for him. Recall that in Potiphar's house, the master gave him charge over his household, and likewise also in the prison. He was given charge of the administration and the affairs of all the prisoners. So, being faithful opened doors of excellence. Another lesson we learn from Joseph is that he refused to revenge. He refused to avenge himself. Though Joseph had power to punish his brothers, but he chose mercy. Integrity includes forgiveness. Mature individuals will not use their powers to destroy others. Joseph had the power when he had become the second in command, the land of Egypt. He refused to revenge all the great evil that his brothers had done unto him. He says, you meant it for evil, but what? God meant it unto good. Genesis 15:20. The 7th point we learn here is that God can use your pain for a purpose. Joseph's suffering became part of God's bigger plan. And God sent me before you to preserve life. Genesis 45 verse 5. Genesis 45:5. When there was great famine, Joseph was able to tell his brethren, his brothers, that the hardship he had undergone was for a particular purpose. That was that of saving their lives. The trials one might be going through now might be preparing you for future influence and impact. Number 8, Joseph was trustworthy. Joseph was trustworthy, and all the leaders that he worked with, God made him to have favor with them, and at every particular point he was promoted. He was promoted in the home of Potiphar. He was promoted right in the prison, and also we see how he spoke to the cupbearer of Pharaoh, the king, in the then Egypt, and how he was promoted by Pharaoh. So we see here that being trustworthy attracts responsibility, favor, and also leadership opportunities. Number 9 is that Joseph stayed faithful during delays. During his setback, he was faithful. He waited many years before his breakthrough, finally came into materialization. God will often test our character before releasing us into the planned destiny He has for us. No wonder Psalm 105 verse 19, it says that until the time that his word came, the word of the Lord tried him. Until the word of God came. So, he was faithful in the time of delay. He didn't give up. He kept on trusting God. Joseph left a legacy because he was faithful, he was trustworthy, he was able to leave a legacy while he departed this world. Because right from his very youthful age to his old age, he remained on the path of integrity. So we see here that a life of integrity will inspire generations long after an individual is gone. And this is confirmed in Hebrews 11:22, where it says that by faith Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel. And so when one lives a life of legacy, one is faithful, one is trustworthy, he will leave a legacy whereby generations unborn will live to talk about. Joseph's story teaches us that integrity is not weakness, it is strength, often under pressure. While others may compromise for quick gains, people of integrity usually trust God with the outcome. What lesson from Joseph speaks to you the most today? Share it in the comment section. Encourage someone to remain faithful to God no matter the pressure.